First time?
Yeah, you?
No, not my first time. Just as gorgeous as ever.
What's going on? It's me, Silver, again, coming back through for another video about the old Battlefield 6. We just finished with our Weekend 2 beta test, and there has been so much people complaining online, especially on Reddit, about just the most ridiculous things that I've ever seen for a beta in a really long time. It's just been complaints about some simple stuff. I mean, we have people complaining simply about, the maps being too small, people not being able to play their class correctly, medics not reviving, supports not giving ammo and rezzing, netcode issues. We have people, of course, still running around and thinking that the game is just another clone of Call of Duty, which it's not. But we're going to talk about the maps first. For whatever reason, we ended up getting the Empire State map, which for some reason everybody seems to dislike a lot. I mean, it's being touted now as the worst map in the game, and I kind of have to agree with them. The spawn logic on that game for all modes feels very bad. Leaving cover out of anywhere usually means that you're getting shot from 5 people in multi-story buildings. Half the time, it really doesn't even feel like you can move anywhere. You know, the maps are so tight-knit. When you spawn in, there's more than likely a chance that there's 3 or 4 people surrounding you on that spawn. It's mostly coming down to the spawns. I really don't like the spawns on that map. I'm not sure what the issue was, but there would be times where my team would be spawn trapped in one spawn. We'd be spawning in the line of sight of at least 3 people who knew where the spawn was and holding it down. And this is mostly coming down to the game modes of Domination, King of the Hill, a lot of the small versions of the map. And when you play stuff like Conquest and when you play Breakthrough or maybe even Rush has some issues on its own, which we're going to cover in this video as well. Conquest and Breakthrough actually feel okay on the map. I think the map plays just fine. There's some verticality issues that people are having, but then again, I think it's fine. Battlefield series has always been known for people getting on top of roofs, and maybe it is more unintended than we think. But, the devs may end up fixing some of that stuff, but I don't even care if they really don't. If you want to get on the roof, that's fine. If you're on the roof, you're not helping your team other than getting more kills because, the name of the game, get on those objectives if you want to win the game. And if you got 15 people sitting on a roof, they're not going to do anything for you. It's been like that since every Battlefield in existence, holding any roof in the game, especially on, say Battlefield 4. There's many maps in that game that I remember people sitting on roofs and doing nothing. One of the main arguments that I remember seeing for this topic was that, say in the older Battlefields, a lot of those roofs were accessible by elevator and there was a ways to get on top of them. But for this game, there isn't. You need to use, parachutes and parkour to get yourself on top of these roofs. But I honestly don't even know if that's going to be an issue in the full game when you have, I'm not even sure what class gets it, but one of the classes is going to get a ladder. I'm thinking maybe the support. But you'll get ladders. They showed that off in the trailer, that you'll just be able to scale up to the second story of roofs however you like. And I already can see people exploiting that to get on top of maps. They can get on top of certain roofs or areas that they are not supposed to be in. But it all comes down to the same issue. If you want to get up on the roof and you have 2 or 3 squads sitting up there, they're not getting on the objectives and they're not helping their team other than getting more kills, which most of the time doesn't help. Speaking of the design for the maps, we are now coming across multiple, posts and complaints about, the maps being far too small and issues with them. I really don't have an issue with the size of a lot of the maps. They claim to be infantry based. Siege of Cairo, the footage in the background. I mean, that's more infantry focused than vehicle focused, in my opinion, with, a couple of the tanks. And, I think people just really want the all-out warfare. They want the jets, they want the helicopters, I don't blame them. I can see why everyone wants the high-octane, jets and helicopters and tanks and the jeeps and all that. But, I'm there. I want to play those maps too. We already know we're getting the OG Operation Firestorm. There's 2 other ones that we're going to get as well. And these maps are way bigger than the maps that we had to play in the beta. I mean, just take a look at this. These maps are so much bigger than the other ones that we've already played in the beta. Empire State, Iberian Offensive, Siege of Cairo, they are like the spawns for the bigger purple map in this picture, known as Murik Valley. I mean, even Liberation Peak barely covers half of that map. And I don't really have even a gripe at all with the current scale of the maps from the beta. I think Siege of Cairo was good. I think Iberian Offensive was good. I think Empire State was good. Yeah, Liberation Peak was great in my opinion. But some of the modes just didn't play right on them. You know, people always complain about that every year, that the game modes don't play correctly on the smaller maps. With the new mode rotation this weekend, we finally got our hands on Battlefield 6's iteration of the Rush mode. This was actually my first game playing it on, of course, the map Empire Empire State, which everyone very much dislikes. I played a lot of Rush during the second weekend here, and I thought it was okay. There's a lot of glaring problems, in my opinion, but the amount of tickets that the attacking side feels extremely low, but that really comes down to the map sizes. And also the spawn logic for this mode is all out of whack. I mean, it's crazy. Because the sizes of the maps were small, there really was a large issue with the spawns being as close as possible to each other. You know, there's no downtime. You're just immediately in the action, and it just gets crazy way too fast. There isn't any ebb and flow to the attacking side clearing an MCOM, and then the defenders retaking it back, and then a back and forth struggle, which the Rush game mode has always been known for since, you know, the dawn of time, when it first came out. Like, when you're loading up for a Rush game mode, just hope to God that you're not on the attacking side. People just seem to not be able to push out for the objectives at all. You know, they'd rather stay in their spawn, and mostly because, you know, they can't move out of their spawn. They're getting spawn trapped by the defending team. I've realized when I was playing the mode that most of my teammates will just stand in spawn and barely know how to push out without any smoke cover, and then even with smoke cover, they don't seem to want to move away 2 feet out of their spawn in order to get to the MCOMs and actually play the objective of what the game mode is meant to be for. Speaking of what it was meant to be for, now the game mode is only a 12v12 instead of the original 32v32, but that also comes down to these map sizes. I mean, these maps cannot support a 32 versus 32 match, especially with the ticket size of only 75. I don't think it used to be a problem back in the day, but for whatever reason, with how small these maps are, it just seems like an impossibility, and 12v12 doesn't really feel that bad. I think it feels okay, but I do wish that with the bigger maps, they scale up how many people are able to play. So those larger maps I showed earlier, I hope, have 32 versus 32 for the Rush game mode. For its current form, when you're defending against the attacking team, if you can spawn trap the attacking team, usually the game only lasts about 5 minutes, which I don't find satisfying at all. I really would like to go through all the sectors of the game, you know, get pushed all the way to the last one, and then maybe be able to hold off the team from there. You know, these MCOMs should be like forward operating bases, and the first one shouldn't be very defended, the second one should be semi-defended, and the third one would be like the main HQ. It always felt like you were pushing into the actual enemy's, you know, headquarters or their main base. It was actually really fun to, you know, find more defenses built up as the time goes on. But I do think the game mode is in like a pretty bad spot. I mean, the maps are so small, and then the player count is different. People are just not really enjoying the vibe of the game mode like they used to. And I really enjoy Rush. I think Rush is one of my favorite game modes from the Battlefield series. It's what got me into the game to begin with, playing it back in the day. I mean, I started playing the game around the beginning of Battlefield 4, so we're hovering around 15 years of playing the Battlefield series, and I know there's a lot of people who have way more time in the series than me, and I would love to hear your opinions in the comments below. If you're a Battlefield vet, what do you think of the Rush game mode? Are you enjoying it? Do you think the map sizes are a critical factor in the game mode not feeling as good as it should? Or are you guys happy with it? Do you want any changes to the game mode? Go ahead and just leave a comment down below. I would love to see everyone's opinions about this. With everyone comparing a lot of the older games, you know, and now with the beta ending, I'm probably going to go find myself back on the older Battlefields. I'm going to go play Battlefield 5. I'm going to go play Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4. I'm going to go find a server that's open and just jump in there and have a good time like I used to. I've definitely kind of got trapped into the Call of Duty cycle, and then I stopped playing that garbage right around the time when they started adding all the junk to that game and, you know, turned it into a battle royale focused game. And that's probably my main worry for the game. I'm really hoping that they don't fall into that battle royale trap where they're spending the entire resource of the development time on the battle royale and putting in skins for the game. They're claiming that they're not going to and keep everything kind of all together, but I can't help but be a little bit worried about something like that. Anyways, that's all I got for today. So I hope everyone has a good day. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below about the rush game mode. What do you think about it? Are you enjoying it? Are you hating it? I'm kind of reiterating what I said, but I want to hear your opinions. I'm very interested in seeing some conversation down below. So see you guys later. Next time.